Mordhau has nailed it. A superb game, a customer-friendly attitude, zero microtransactions, a pro-consumer attitude, stealing players' progress and forcing them to buy second copies of the game. Seriously, what the fuck? I simply don't believe an indie developer would betray its loyal customers like this. Sold out to Epic Games. 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 Oh yeah, they are all doing it. Welcome back to Mordhau. They stole my fucking gold. Apologies in advance for the gameplay footage. It's the only footage I have, because I'm locked out of my Mordhau YouTube account. While my overwhelmingly positive initial experiences of Triturnian Studios, makers of Mordhau, have, like so many indie developers in 2019, suddenly gone down the shitter. And not only had they dicked over a large section of their Steam users, but they have puked out some official statement publicly associating the victims of this fucktardery with online cheating and account abuse. In a nutshell, in the latest patch this week, Mordhau deactivated Steam family sharing, locking many players like myself out of our saved games, forcing us to either abandon our progress or buy a second new copy of the game just to unlock our progress. And when we try and discuss the issue publicly, we are getting insulted and accused of being lying cheaters and told to fuck off. Literally. They have royally screwed the fucking pooch. And the sheepdog too. So what is Steam family sharing and what's the issue here? Steam family sharing is a function on Valve's Steam platform that lets you share your games with other users in your house by secure pre-approval. It's basically a way that you can let your grandma play your copy of Hatred or Rape Day without her actually having to sit at your PC, or having to give her your Steam login details so she can log in from her computer. It's basically a convenience. It's a utility that allows you to share your games, which you can share perfectly legally with other people in your home, but do it in a way that does not involve account sharing or wheeling your granny into your room and risking having her adult nappy burst on your Dorito stash. People also frequently use Steam family sharing for other legitimate reasons too. Privacy, confidentiality and consumer protection. These days it's very dangerous to have all your games on one account and one platform. I know several people who have had the misfortune to get into verbal swearing matches with people online, only for the other person to turn out to be a dev or a community manager, who then immediately abused their status to get the person's account banned. And subsequently, they lost their entire libraries on that platform. I use multiple accounts for several reasons, all 100% legit, mundane and completely unrelated to the completely unproven and baseless alleged kidnapping that I did last year. Not that it matters a fuck, because it's a 1 in a million chance they're going to find that one shipping container in a dock that size. Anyway. For example, I compartmentalise my private accounts and my channel accounts. If people want to friend me on my channel account, that is their choice. But it's not fair to potentially dox relatives and friends. Without their permission or knowledge, and have them spammed with abuse by association. Besides, I don't want prostitutes sending me fucking messages when I'm recording game footage and then popping up on my screen demanding I pay them the money I owe them. There is nothing weird about this. Well, the Steam family sharing part at least. If a channel supporter kindly gifts me a copy of a game, like Theron and his crew kindly did recently, I add it to my YouTube channel account. I also have an old legacy account. I have different privacy settings on different accounts. You get the picture here. Steam family sharing lets me set up access between the accounts, sit down on my PC and play the appropriate game on the appropriate account, without fucking around with bespoke settings or worrying about privacy issues, or hooker spam popping up on my screen. It's a convenience thing. Nobody is losing any money. Nobody is being harmed. Yes, sharing can be abused by cheaters, but only if the video game has not bothered to install any fucking anti-cheat software to identify users' accounts properly. Mordhau has not bothered. It just flags a player's name, so if they switch over to another account sharing the game on Steam, they can log in again. Frankly, this is Mordhau's problem, not ours. So what has the publisher Triturnian done to screw the fucking pooch? This week, a new content patch came out, which is excellent news, I thought. However, they also threw in a Steam Family Share deactivation. Yes, 5 weeks after launch, 5 weeks of people levelling up and grinding gold, they suddenly, out of the blue, shut down sharing, leaving many people like myself without access to their progress. They have basically let people use Steam Family Sharing all this time. It's a legacy feature that people assumed rightly would be around forever. Then without warning, 5 weeks after the final official launch, shut it down, and a lot of players are now fucked. I sit down at my PC and notice I can't play. It's telling me to repurchase the game if I want to get access to the many, many thousands of fucking gold I've been grinding and saving up all fucking week. Not only this, they have made public statements stating that they had to shut down sharing rights because it's a function abused by cheaters who are ruining the game. They fucked us, and made a statement saying it's because cheaters. So when you say your account is locked, everyone assumes you mean banned and starts verbally abusing you. Well played, Mordhau. Well fucking handled. This makes about as much fucking sense as a bank bricking up all the doors because they are too tight-fisted to rent security guards or buy locks for the doors. And yes, all of your money is trapped inside the fucking bank now. And the bank is telling everyone in the high street that they did it because you might be a thief. How about that for customer service? So what's the end result of all of this? Lots of totally innocent players now have their progress locked on the account they were using to play with. They can still switch back to the account where they purchased it, but their account will be missing progress, equipment and gold, etc. Basically, your entire progress has been rusted, unless you buy the game a second time. I've been trying to discuss this reasonably on the subreddit and on a couple of forums, but thanks to the statement from Triturnian, most people are just flat out rude to me. Very significantly, despite this being Triturnian changing the terms of service 5 weeks after launch, there's nothing Steam users can do to get refunds. I have been repeatedly refused, and Steam won't transfer the game to the account I've been playing on either. I'm fucked. Steam refunds don't work after you've played for 50 hours, and I can see why Steam think I'm taking the piss for asking. Let's get one thing clear. I still have the game. I'm not banned. It still works, but only on the wrong account now, where I can't record game footage, and with all my fucking gold and progress on the other account. I'm not asking for anything for free here. I just want to carry on playing my saved progress in a game I already own on this same fucking PC I've been playing on all this time. And like many people, I'm not prepared to pay another 30 quid for the privilege of doing it. So what's my evaluation of the situation? Well, first off, I think Mordhau is an excellent game. I have expressed immense respect for Triturnian Studios, and as you know, I gave the game an outstanding review. My opinions on the subject are genuinely heartfelt, public, and on the record. I love these guys. But it is what it fucking is. The decision to suddenly deactivate players' access to their accounts on shared machines and the way they have handled the publicity surrounding it can only be described as a shitty and unfair move. In their defence, I think the situation is an indicator that their community management team and the company itself lacks expertise and experience with both anti-cheat technology and handling a community peacefully and without divisive rhetoric. By blaming one section of the community for this action, they've turned the rest of the community against them. This is certainly the impression I'm getting after having spent a week trying to contact anyone over at Tritonian Studios by any means possible across multiple platforms. One person over there has finally very kindly replied to me, but the sum totality of all of my efforts to communicate with Tritonian and discuss this issue with them has thus far resulted in only 2 short responses, which in their entirety came to 20 words in total. It was nice of them to speak to me at all, I guess, but given how much I paid for the game, that's worked out at about £1.80 per word. So far, only a few thousand accounts have been banned for actual cheating. But using family sharing is very common, and by this point apparently 2 million copies have been sold across all platforms. This means that it's likely that for all the people affected by this, only 1 or 2% are actual cheats. If you're an archer with a 98% miss rate, people would tell you to just sit this one out and not bother. The other sad implication of this action is profiteering. I hate to say it, but if you do the maths, you can't avoid thinking it. The anti-cheat argument doesn't stack up. You don't change the terms and conditions for all Steam users to deal with, so far, 2,000 cheats worldwide. Many of those guys are getting their bans overturned because they turned out not to be cheating. You install anti-fucking cheat software on your game. That's how you deal with cheaters. The uncomfortable truth is that Tritonian get to quote lofty and morally righteous justifications for basically making many tens of thousands of players buy a second copy of a game they already fucking own. Something just doesn't add up here. The anti-cheat argument is horseshit. Turning off family sharing doesn't magically cure cheating, and they are avoiding answering questions about the issue. What's really going on here? Did they sign a contract with Steam and not realise family sharing was a thing? Are they pissed at Steam and just decided, fuck them, let's turn off family sharing and annoy the fuckers? Did someone in accounting point out that they were losing money by leaving it activated? I don't claim to know what's going on, but I'm pretty sure that the explanation of what is going on is bullshit. And here's why. Just turning off Steam family sharing is not going to stop cheating. Decent anti-cheat detection is your best option for dealing with cheaters. And herein lies the fucking snag. If you do install proper anti-cheat measures, then turning family sharing on or off makes no difference at all, because the anti-cheat measures will be able to track and identify the cheaters by other effective means. It's going to track and record their account, not just the name on the account. This situation just does not add up. In fact, the only way I can see Tritonian's argument making any sense whatsoever is if they have zero anti-cheat in place, and they are only banning players based on people complaining in DMs or screen grabs, and they are only identifying players by the names on the screen or in the messages. And if that is the case, then holy fuck, they need to sort themselves out, because that would be tragic if it were true. This scenario is splitting the community in half, just a month after launch. Trying to discuss this issue, I only met a couple of people who were friendly and helpful. Most players were outright hostile and fucking abusive. The half of the community unaffected is literally dismissing the people affected as cheats and telling them to fuck right off. And I mean, frequently they are literally telling them to fuck off or worse. It's ugly, and it's not a good look for a new community. And the community management team are nowhere to be seen. There are proper ways to ban proper cheats that grown-ups use when approaching this kind of problem. VAC bans, IP bans, bans that flag the GPU serial number or the CPU serial number, or some fucking combination thereof. They are reasonably effective, consistent, well tested, and also make spotting cheats easier in the future, if you are prepared to spend a little bit of coin on them. The second worst possible way to deal with cheats in a video game is to just lollygag around, banning people based on reports or data analysis or screenshots, and only ban that specific username you see on the screen. But the absolute and completely most fucktarded way to deal with cheats is to ban innocent people from using a copy of the game when nobody has been cheating on that account at all. Okay, you could be slightly more fucktarded than that. You could do precisely what I just described, only 5 weeks after launch. That's probably the single worst way to handle anti-cheat. Wait for people to play on the game for over a month, then lock it and leave your players fucked without access to their saved progress. Label them as cheaters in the eyes of the community and leave them no other option than buying a second copy of the game. Because, you know, people are totally going to rush out and throw money at a second copy of the game when you've just dicked them over, ripped them off and labelled them as potential cheaters on the Steam forums. I mean, fucking Jesus, what are they thinking? This situation makes me sad, because Mordhau was one of my surprise hit indie games of 2019, and now they are at best acting like heartless dickheads, and at worst like heartless profiteering dickheads. There are a lot of upset customers, and they have been treated very badly. Recently, I literally had one guy telling me that it's my fault and I should buy a second copy of the game to support the devs. I mean, seriously, get the fuck out of my cab. I bought the game. I bought all the DLC. I made a stunning review of Mordhau. I spoke highly of the community. I have encouraged my channel supporters to buy the game. I've done everything I can do to support Mordhau. And now I have some fanboy telling me to shut the fuck up and support the devs by paying for a second copy of the game. Really? I'm sorry, but I've done my bit to support this game, and I'm fucked if I'm buying another copy of a game I already own to unlock my progress and earned gold just because Triturnian are too fucking disorganised to put their crayons down for 10 minutes and sort out a proper anti-cheat solution that works. Look, I love these guys. I love Mordhau, and it pains me to be criticising them at this point. And I really hope they rethink this decision. I realise I come across as furious. Because, well, I am furious. They sold this game with the understanding it would have Steam Family Share. They let people buy and play this game with that being understood. They discovered that their online video game has cheaters, and they didn't have decent anti-cheat in place. Of course it has cheaters. It's a fucking video game. What were they fucking thinking, releasing this game without adequate anti-cheat and then acting all fucking befuddled and surprised when cheaters turned up? It's 2019. Their failure to deal with this is not our problem. Their costs for dealing with the problem should not be passed on to the customer. Turn family sharing back on and buy an anti-cheat solution, please. Don't spoil what has so far been a benchmark for indie excellence. I hate cheaters too, but people should not be expected to buy a second copy of a game they already own to subsidise Triturnian's low effort and short-sighted anti-cheat strategy. On a positive note, 2 new maps were introduced in the patch too. Not that a lot of Steam users are going to be wasting their time playing on them until they get their fucking accounts back. But for now, good luck and happy hunting.